I think that the team that starts going for the assassins first and trying to get the tempo is going to encounter some issues. They're going to go for the center here.
They get Lee Yumi, I think.
Yeah, they get Lee.
Please continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think you need Lee. I think you take Yumi and potentially even Riven. Yumi Riven is such a strong combo as well. I think Senna is Berry's most played champion, and that's kind of where they found success as well. Yes, it's not a winning bot side, but it's Berry's most played champion. It's really good. But I think for Nova here, you just take Yumi, you just take Riven. And that's it.
Well, we're waiting to see what this final pick is.
Yumi.
There's the Yumi. That's the easy one.
So
constantly banned throughout the tournament.
You could go Lee Sin. You could also go Riven as well. I think if they don't pick Lee Sin, I think Cherry's going to take that Lee Sin, like you said, potentially. Okay, comfort pick in mid lane.
Everything is open.
It's crazy.
So here's the thing again, right? J-Team, I feel like needed to go for something with a little bit more tempo, a little bit more aggression early on. They're going for the center again. So what this kind of tell me is that they want to try and afford some scaling options down towards the bot side. Berry was up 5k. Still could not win the game, right? Because you have a mid lane that's going to leak pressure, you're going to have a jungler that's not able to keep up to the tempo, and now Nova have scaling options of their own as well.
Now I feel like, do you know what the crazy thing is? Is that these teams are waiting so long. There's a Lee Sin pick, but these teams are waiting so long to try and pick these champions.
You know what's going on backstage right now?
There's so much open.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much open. They're like, do we want Lee? Do we want
exactly.
Riven?
There's so many power picks open. Gragas is a new one though. That could potentially be a center Gragas. Like
immediately. Xin Zhao locked on in here for long, constantly flexing his champion Ocean. He is water. That is long. Long, anything you drink, anything you swim in, that is long. He can play it. He's there.
This is usually the spot in the draft with the Yumi pick, with the Cocky pick, where you would snatch an Olaf. But I think for a couple of reasons, namely Long's a terrible Olaf performance, frankly, against FPX, they opt to go for Xin instead, which is a substitute that I think works very well into the center and sticks to the Lee as well.
I think Xin Zhao and Yumi is also a good combo.
Yes,
it's also a great disengage for the Lee Sin as well. Cherry tries to jump in. Xin Zhao just uses the ultimate as well. Even if Gragas wants to engage in as well, Xin Zhao's a champion that does scale really well into the late game with that Yumi paired with him.
But does this mean that there's more onus now either on Nian or on Iza to be the main carry and the Xin Zhao is now a supplementary carry? Because this isn't scale super late like Jax. This isn't just ticking time bomb. This isn't Lee Sin take over the game.
And Digon, this is what I was expecting going into this series. I was expecting games to go more like this, where Long would have to play facilitative champions like the Xin Zhao, enable the rest of his team to come ahead. Iza, Nian would have to be the ones to come up ahead. And now we're finally starting to see that come through, but we haven't seen a top side or a mid side pick potentially if the Corki could still go bot.
Right, so we'll keep an eye on that. The next couple bans, Renekton and Darius with Riven and Garen. This top lane pool getting chunked very hard.
I was going to mention that as well, because the Baron lane hasn't been picked on either side. Normally, you know, Yitse and Dawn, you think of them, you know, Riven, Renekton are the two main champions. But now even after that as well, Darius is gone, Garen's gone, Camille's gone. So what do you play towards this top side?
Sure,
now,
they're like 5 champions
Yitse.
top, and all 5 have been banned through it. They're like 5 champions to the top.
Wow, they're just going full protect Xin Zhao, I guess, or even Corki. This could be on Nian's hands, obviously in the mid lane on the Corki.
Well, we saw Shen be used by Shy on Team Flash to great success in their victory over JDG, but that was shut down and taken away by J-Team in their series, and now they'll have to deal with it. The one thing that J-Team do have with this competition, with Lee Sin, is that they were so much better than Team Flash in their series in the semifinals in the early game skirmishes and executing to get those kills. A lot of these team fights in this patch go long, you don't get the kills, you don't get the gold necessary, but J-Team were very clinical in doing the early game tower dives as we get our final 2 picks, and there it is. Grandin is so smug right now. Zed is locked in along
Okay,
with
but he
Zed.
said game 5 though.
He did say game 5, but he did call who was going to the Assassins first. He did call that. And he called they were going to get stopped. So there's like there's like 3 parts to Grandin's bold prediction. It's getting better and better.
I feel like, you know, this J-Team at this point are like, we need to find an opening in the mid lane specifically, right? Everywhere else on the map, you cannot keep up. Law is doing too much. Bot side is doing well, but not well enough. And you need an assassin to break open the game for you.
So
Diana, the final one.
Yeah, this is Corki bot side then. This is for remake, and then it's going to be Nian on the Diana mid lane. So it's a bit of a switch up. Corki Yumi bot lane is an okay bot lane. You're against Senna Gragas as well. But honestly, I'm thinking of the Zed pick who do you ulti? Who do you go into? Because you have a Yuumi shields, you have Yuumi heals, you have the Shen ulti as well. I honestly feel like Pan's going to have a really, really difficult time on his Zeds.
Got a snowball. I mean, that composition on the left by J-Team is Snowball City with Lee Sin trying to get on in, and hopefully the Senna will be able to be a late game insurance, but this is high risk here by J-Team.
Yeah, I feel like J-Team have just all in around the Lee Sin Zed early to mid game. They want to try to play side lanes later, but I think that's going to be so difficult.
Finals, what a run they've made to get here.
When you go back to the beginning of the overall Wild Rift Esports season and you follow the WRL, J-Team were dominant in the regular season, the #1 team. But then when it came to the playoffs, a best of 3, a best of 7, they fell in the end to FPX. And it came down to last chance qualifiers where they lost to Nova in a best of 7 and then to OMG in a best of 5. So the fact that J-Team have made it here by chance and have made it all the way to the grand finals is already a Cinderella run in itself.
Yeah, imagine, you know, starting their journey, they were 5th seed, and then they were like, okay, that's it. But then boom, get here by chance, and they made that chance count. That's why they're here in the grand finals.
How crazy is it that a team that didn't qualify, that placed 5th out of the 4 possible slots, has made it all the way to the grand finals, and yet here it could stop, because as we were talking about, Nova do have a very clear mandate for their team draft. Don't give any traction to Pan. The early game is about Cherry on this Lee Sin, ganking for Pan, trying to get that Zed out ahead. Here's the first swing.
Counter gank again?
Long is here, making sure that the mid wave is uncleared by Cherry.
Whoa,
and he's pushed off as well as the ward early from Neon stops Cherry in its tracks.
We'll talk about the entire composition. Again, what Stuart was talking about, what you guys were talking about, it is going to be Cherry Pan having a lot of pressure to make this game work. But looking at Nova's composition, a lot of answers. Stuart mentioned the Stand United, a lot of shields, a lot of healing, and the fact that Diana also has self-shielding, and the fact that, okay, Pan doesn't get kills early game, let's do 4-1.
Wow.
Early invade.
But if you're looking at this and you say, okay, well, we can't gank any of these lanes.
Whoa!
What can you do?
Surprise!
Knew the homework assignment that Cherry assigned,
Whoa!
being able to follow up, but it is Nova with the collapse, extending on to Cherry and DY, who stayed far too long in the blue buff jungle for first blood. Nova turns around with 2.
And the entire game plan for J-Team is gank mid. That doesn't work because Long reads them like a book, shows up there early, matches the rotate. So they say, all right, let's force the fight into the jungle. Chase down Long, and yet again, he knows what is coming, calls for the rotate in, baits the play, and it is deadly for J-Team.
And you know that this was the plan all along because basically Cherry bought a very early Executioner's Calling, wanting to cancel out the early game healing coming from Yami in case Yami joins the fray. And no, it backfires. Nova gets 2 kills versus J-Team's 1.
And what's even more disastrous, Dawn had forced Yitse to recall and was winning lane off of a gold lead.
Not anymore!
Not anymore, because
No.
Yitse just got a kill and assist. He's back in the lead, baby.
So really scary times for J-Team. Yet again, the early game plan has failed.
Woo!
But Cherry is not going to go into the night unanswered. He finds one more opportunity in the early game, comboing with Dawn.
Yeah, I like this start. I like this. I like how Cherry is able to take back what happened earlier. Look at his lead right now when it comes to the gold over Long. I think it is an amazing start. Nova, though, I love the response.
Okay, explosive
DY!
cast, body slam right onto Yami. He's
DY.
incredibly chunked out. It's just a Yuumi, but the Yuumi can't be singled out because Long and Remake fire down on Barry.
DY's arms are too short. He can't reach him. He's left chasing a cat, unable to catch up, and Nova get more gold onto their bottom lane. Remake looking really big in a game where he is a primary damage source for Nova.
And that damage source is going to rely heavily on how Nian and Yidze can set up later on in these early game fights.
Or in these early game fights as we head towards our first objectives. This is going to be our first Rift Herald and the Infernal Drake on the Rift in just 30 seconds. And J-Team with their Lee Sin and early game power, Lee Sin set, are going to try and set the tone for the game. What does that look like? Well, it could be either Rift Herald or Infernal for them. It depends what they're thinking. Infernal, really good late game. Rift Herald, really good if they want to snowball right now.
And that's going to be important, right? Because look at Barry. He bought a Proto Belt. So we're thinking
He's
of
fighting.
Proto Belt into Root. They want to make sure that they land everything because look at Nova's team composition. Not very tanky, especially at the early phases of the game. You get one, you kill one.
They're swinging for Infernal. Chasing, matching
There it
here.
Oh, Cherry was waiting in the bush, but Long's got a
Final
cat on his
shot!
back, and he's got the heals, he's got the shields. Yitse coming in with the stand united. Another early attempt for J-Team thwarted by Nova.
What a combo! Final chapter ties down Cherry and Berry, and then they drop the package right on top. It is disastrous for J-Team.
And you do not want to give Long an early lead. We already saw what happens if he gets early kills. He's 3-1-2. He's not going to die. Yami's going to keep tagging along with him.
And Long on the Xin Zhao, a champion that we have not seen that much in the tournament compared to the likes of things like Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, all champions that have a lot of early agency. Everyone forgets about Xin Zhao, and if he can just 1v1 someone, he outstat checks anyone in the game.
And he can take a hit as well, especially with Yami riding along.
Here comes another fight. Cherry looking for the play.
Smash!
Dawn with the showstopper slams Long into the ground. It gets a flash out. Dawn has to tank up as
Good
much damage as he
ult.
can.
Let's go!
Good haymaker. Tanks up the brunt of the damage. Flashes away. Gets out. But now it's up to the rest of J-Team. Can they follow up? Can they look for more onto Yitse? Pan coming in with a flank. Yitse flashing
Whoa.
forward, but doesn't realize there's a Shadow Ninja on the other side of the wall who's now looking to clean up the pieces.
Here comes Neon.
Neon
Rift Herald.
moonfall onto one. Already singles on another. It's down at the Pan. Death mark on the remake. Can he single him out? Can he get the damage? Burst is almost enough, and he clips him. Pan is on the other side. Yami is chasing him down with Neon, and they're looking to tie down the Rift Herald.
What was that? At the end of the day, J-Team, it felt like they were winning that team fight, that long-drawn team fight. But Neon was still alive all along. Takes advantage of the low health bars. Let's see, though.
Pan got the fruit. He's back in here, poking and prodding away.
Barry coming over the wall as well. There's no smite available yet. Long can just burn this down. That's
Got
the
it.
smite. That's the Rift Herald.
Pan played that fight so well on the Zed, demonstrating why his team entrusted the game into his hands. But right now, Riku, it is slipping through their fingers.
Yeah, every single time you think J-Team is ahead, Nova just denies that away from you immediately. This looks so good from J-Team. Honestly, get to see Dawn flex his set powers right here. Haymaker, immense amount of shield, a lot of CC to provide for J-Team. But at the end of the day, Remake was still alive, Neon was still alive.
And this fight's going pretty well
Yeah.
at this point. Like, they invest all their cooldowns very intelligently, but they lose Berry, which means they have no heal. Uh-oh.
Kick.
Oh, Dragon's Rage, and kicks him out of the Twilight Trap
Can
so
he
he
get
can
away?
get the extra auto damage on top of it. This turret, can they burn it down in time? But
Wait,
Yami, single-handedly, it's a cat that scares them off.
That's the wave clear, baby. Now will Neon come in? Bam? No, not enough slow. I thought that was gonna happen. I really
was
thought.
doing a cat hiss.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what it didn't really work.
I did it.
I liked it. You
We're
did
making
well.
cat sounds on the grand finals. Let's go. It's the energy that I wanted to see.
Yami unable to find any of the kills there, but does clear the wave with a really good use of the final chapter. And this means that Nova run the map as we do head towards this dragon.
The engage, Neon,
Oh.
Moonfall forces the
DY.
hands of Cherry to get out. Can't say the same about DY because he had nowhere to go.
Take note, there was no objective at that point. It was them correlating in one area, they happened to find each other, and bam, they got Neon with an amazing moonfall to catch DY.
For J-Team, this entire game is about trying to get more gold onto their key carries, so they will take any fight they can. For Nova, this entire game is just about pressing the accelerator button, making sure Pan doesn't scale into the game, making sure Berry and DY don't scale into the game. And this Rift Herald has gotten so much value towards that end.
And now they're going towards Pan. Will he be able to escape?
Pan, how many Shadow
That
Clones
was
can he pull
clean.
out of this
Yeah.
one? Hey, that was pretty cool.
Smooth.
Smooth criminal.
He's able to slide out of that one, which will give him the necessary gold from those sidelines to kind of stay in the game. That's what he's doing in that bottom lane. He's looking for every little bit of gold he can get.
But he's not in a Hull Breaker. He's not Hull Breaker Zed. He is team fight, Zed.
Yeah.
So now for J-Team, how will they be able to wait for these objectives, for these 5v5s, for these skirmishes? As long as there's no dragon, Nova, on the other hand, are happy that this game is going slow.
Yeah, he really wants this turret. But as you're talking about, not Hullbreaker, can't be Hullbreaker because they need him to be a teamfight carry. They have no option in the matter.
Oh, Long flashing forward. This is a Xin Zhao without any boots, and he is running down Cherry.
He's just moving forward without Yami, without boost, just as you said. Very brave, because he knows he's 3-2-3.
Okay, Neon looking for the move on the berry. He's maneuvered away from
Whoa.
DY,
Whoa.
and DY can't do anything. He can't get in range. Can he get an answer back? Explosive cast gets the stasis out. Should have enough damage.
Stand
United with the Stand United, and the taunt finishes him off. He even brought Yami for the ride.
That is perfect from Nova Esports, and it guarantees them control of this game because Barry and DY were J-Team's ace in the hole. They were their late game insurance policy, and that policy's value has just tanked.
And you could tell that DY was trying his hardest. He thought that he had it. Neon, big outplay. Ize coming in, Dragon now up.
With these kills on the board for Nova Esports, Package on the side of Remake, they can completely bully J-Team away from this Dragon. Cherry would have to pull out a Miracle, but can he get in range? It's all on Dawn, making the main engage, flashing over the wall.
Final chapter wasted.
Long gets the Dragon, secures it for the side of Nova Esports. Pan onto the backside, looking for the execution with the Death Mark, but it's not enough damage, and the rest of Nova have already dealt with J-Team.
Cherry's all alone, making the great escape. He'll slip away. So miraculously, nobody on J-Team dies.
But maybe Dawn?
Oh!
No. That was close. Cherry achieves and gets the stealth mission done. Because if he died at that time, Rift Herald is up, that's not something you want to give to Nova even more.
Yeah, an incredible feat of survival from J-Team. I don't know if you caught it. Dawn realized it was on the wrong side of that bottom lane turret and just walked up to it and 1v1'd it. That gets J-Team a little bit of gold back on the map, but they are absolutely going to take a swing at this Rift Herald.
They need to fight. They gotta get this, because look at Neon 500.
Rift Herald's about to despawn. It might have.
We'll see though.
Long is burning it down. He gets it right in time before the Baron comes online. Neon in the 1v2, 2v1, because he's got Yami on his back pocket once again. Pan can't do anything about it. Barry is forced off the tower. DY trying to come in as reinforcements, but is bullied by Long, and the rest of the members of Nova have corralled Cherry into a corner. He's got mobility, but he cannot defend the turret.
This is a very sad tale. Wait, hold up.
Oh, potentially. It's a lot of damage already onto Remake. The Dragon's Rage knocks Remake out, and he's buying time once again.
Cherry trying his hardest to find something here.
He is. Gets the Crux? Stasis, no.
Nowhere
Not
to
gonna
go.
be enough to survive.
Meanwhile, back on Neon, and he's got Yitse here. 2v3 about to emerge here. Dawn already with the showstopper, locks him down. Facebreaker into the Haymaker. Neon almost survives, but Dawn clips him out with one more haymaking punch. Remake now back in it, but it's Pan that comes back with the resurgence of damage, and Barry following up beautifully. They've knocked out Yami. That's a swing of gold back into the pockets of J-Team.
3 for 3 suddenly, an even trade for J-Team, and badly needed gold for their Senna, who's supposed to be their late game scaling carry.
And you can tell that they wanted this. They really wanted this to get back into the game, get that kill. This fight is so scattered because Cherry was very busy basically being a tank taunt. He taunted a lot of members to his side, and therefore this is the reason why they had, or rather Nova had a numbers disadvantage in this one.
Yeah, a little bit of over-aggression, frankly, from Neon. Feeling a little bit too confident with the gold lead they have, and so is Giza, so are the rest of Nova. They walk into what is a disadvantaged fight, trusting that J-Team won't have the tools to punish them, but that is not true of a team that is here in the Icons Grand Final.
And one thing that's amazing right now, at least for J-Team, is that Pan's damage.
Yeah!
We saw. It's a lot. Look at the graph, look at the bars, rather. And for Nova, this is a very worrying sign if you don't have Stand United, if you don't have shields and healing. Look at the composition of Nova. Very squishy.
As we call back to what you said at the beginning of the game, TJ, the investment, the trust. to let Zed go into the hands of Pan comes through in that team fight, but it's got to be more. It can't just be that one team fight. J-Team have to find successive skirmishes just like that one.
And now we've kind of inverted the status quo from previous games. Now we're in a game where you're looking at that Zed, you're looking at that Senna is scaling carries that are going to be so deadly the later we go.
Uh-oh, Neon might be caught out here. Long is here for reinforcements, trying to buy time for the rest of Remake to come in for damage.
Oh.
Pan already getting a lot. Neon with the Moonfall splits up J-Team, and they have been scattered. DY has already sent to the fountain. A beautiful taunt flash from Yitze finds the mark onto the rest of J-Team. Pan is able to get the recall off. Dawn has nowhere else to run. A triple kill for Long.
Intense fight from Nova. That was J-Team asking for it. They were the ones that wanted to start that fight. Look at Cherry, though. He has an angle to get a steal.
He's going to need to save this game.
Oh no, Remake Valkyrie there. He's gonna get spotted eventually.
Cherry would have to pull off something.
Yeah, there it is.
Remake spots him out, and he knows he's blinking on HP.
Pan in the pit.
Oh, Pan is in the pit, but can he get damage on the Long? The Crescent Guard is going to block all the Death Mark damage, and they've singled out Cherry on the other side with Yitze. Beautiful guarding of the Nova, and that's a prime gaming
Hey!
for Nova Esports.
They control this perfectly, and J-Team, I don't know why they force a fight here. As I was talking about, they have a really good late game composition, but they feel the need to start something. Maybe they thought they had a player caught out, and the chain of events quickly balloons into an untenable team fight. This is a full 5v5. They're at a massive disadvantage, and they've given over the Baron now, and on our screens in the corner, you can see this Elder being burned down.
And the package from Remake, he's completely
far.
fine with giving his life. He's not even giving his life because he's got Yitze with the Stand United to make sure he doesn't go down. He eventually gets clipped by Dawn, but Nova have done all that they needed to do to secure the Elder and possibly the game.
That was crazy coming from Remake, but Yitze falls.
Pan finds him with the Death Mark. Can he find more onto Long? Crescent Guard prevents any damage further coming out from the Ninja.
A massive gold lead over to Nova. Now a minute on Baron as well.
DY tries to stuff him, but Neon still has way too much damage. Golden stasis on both him and Cherry. Neon is the one that comes up through, and Nova have 3 members to 1. With Baron buff at their side, they could make the push to put themselves at match point.
They're approaching tournament point mark, sieging the inhibitors, taking out that mid lane for the rest of the game. They are 1 win away from being on tournament points.
And they have everything. They've got Elder, they've got all their carries rising right now. 825 Long, 915 Neon. Everyone can basically 1v1 people. And look at this Elder Drake. Remake Valkyrie forward with the package, delivered not only himself in front forward, but delivers Yitze along him with it as well. He has a ton of damage!
I thought that was way too far forward. Remake showing off how tanky you can be when you're playing that Corki. Deep into the backlands, supported as you say by the Stand United. It turns into a chain of events that puts Nova firmly out ahead with this Elder for the rest of the game.
And it's crazy how you know how far ahead Nova is if they can go 1 by 1 and 1v1 you.
Here we go.
Showstopper right onto Long, but he's got the final chapter from Yami. They've locked down Pan. That's a major
Big
assassination. Gone from the side of J-Team. They are looking to Barry to be the last one that can defend the base alongside Cherry. But Nova still have 5 members from They're diving the fountain. They have so much confidence. They can drop members and don't give a damn. Nova Esports bring themselves to match point.
In the fountain!
In the fountain!
In the grand final! Nova Esports dive the fountain to put themselves 3-0 in this best-of-7 series.
We're so close to crowning our first ever Icons champions. Nova right now is showing no signs of stopping at all.
And when you look back at history, the last time these two teams met, it was